call this board meeting to order Monday, August 11th at 7 o'clock. Can I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Armstrong?
Here.
Mrs. Bedio? Here. Mr. Benacci?
Here.
Mrs. Matthews? Here. Mrs. Powers? Here.
Stand for pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance.
Flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we're going to move to item 3 of the agenda, comments from the audience. And as always, I will remind everyone that if you want to speak, please do not use names of employees or board members when you address them. Is there anyone that cares to speak from the audience? Going once? Come on. Okay.
He took a hand up.
Oh, where? I didn't see it.
Can't hear you back
Oh, it's high-tech mic. If anyone has a comment from the audience, now's the time. Do you want to come up and speak? Where you live?
here. My name is Bud May. I live at 3425 Margaret Avenue in Stowe. Been there for 42 years, right next to the Indian Trail Grade School. Been in Stowe until 6220 on Echo Road and the rest of the time on Margaret Avenue. I'm coming here tonight to discuss this gate and the problems we've had over the years with this gate. It's been good and bad. The good is that it's working. The bad part is it's going to come to a head right now with the closing of Thorndale Avenue and the cul-de-sac being put in and the new school buses or the school buses coming in. They're going to be routed one way, up Hawthorne Avenue, down Margaret Avenue, and a right turn into the school. With several discussions over the past week here with Mr. Jones, we worked out an agreement for at least a year here to try to avoid closing the gates. We are routing the buses in one direction and the school traffic in with the buses one direction. Now that is okay with the wife and I on the corner right there, but there is a lot of people on the other end of Margaret Avenue and Hawthorne that will experience the ramifications of this happening when school starts. And I predict that there will be more talk about this. But for at least this coming year, we are talking about going in one direction, and hopefully that could solve everything. But if it doesn't, we are talking about making a cul-de-sac turn on the school, which is a feasibility issue that Dr. Jones came out and looked at and realized that it's possible by moving a paper dumpster, swinging the road around in circles right there, that we could turn the buses on school property, all the traffic can come in and out off of Route 59. So we're waiting for this to all happen here at the school opening to find out if everything's good on the other end of Margaret Avenue and Hawthorne. So if it works, that's fine. If there's a lot of complaints and it's backing up traffic and there's problems with the narrow streets or whatever, then we'll be back to at least discuss the ramifications of improving the driveway, which will be under $25,000. So hopefully everything will turn out okay on this, and we hope that it will alleviate the problem that we can see coming here in the future.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Are they, he talked about a one-way only. Are they going to put up, is there going to be a one-way only sign there? Or is it still going to be an optional two-way with school traffic primarily going one way?
Well, I can address that. I met with Bud and his wife and a couple of councilmen on Thursday. And when you think about turning right into that drive, we had Marhoff, engineer, went out and looked at that and gave us some drawings. And it was a pretty inexpensive fix to try to shave that so the buses could turn. And Bud and his wife said, can you at least consider our option and come out and take a look? So I said, yeah, I'll be out there at 1 o'clock. We had our transportation guy, we had our maintenance guy, we had 2 buses that we brought out. And so we looked at it, and as we were out by the Mays property, it is a tight, that resolution is pretty tight, there's no doubt about it. We probably lose, what would you say, 10, 15 feet of sidewalk also, roughly. So.
The sidewalk going into the school?
Yes. From the Thorndale, from their property going in, we'd lose about 10 or 15 feet there. So that resolution didn't look fantastic. So we looked at what the Mays had suggested was to route all the traffic from Kent Road and have all the buses do a swing loop around. We brought 2 buses, a traditional and a transit bus. They have different wheelbase, so their turn circumference is different. And as they saw and we saw, we would have to take off part of that grassy area that Bud referred to. And we're estimating it's about a $20,000 project. We also would lose about 15 parking spaces because the buses swing as they turn. So, as opposed to the initial option of shaving the curb, or as opposed to that option, I'll give credit to Mrs. May. We were standing there and she said, you know, if this thing was just one way, that would probably solve a lot. So we started talking about that, and then we walked out and looked again and had the buses come through, and that resolution looks like the best option at this point. All we need to do is take that gate that's out towards the end of the drive and move it back, and then the buses will have plenty of turning circumference. And if we make it one way, there'll be no oncoming traffic. Also, as the buses are entering, we're talking 5 or 6 buses on the 2 side streets, they won't be fighting very much exiting traffic. So as we talked, we thought that seems to make some sense. We think we can still have access for our buses. And for the neighbors, it's going to cut half your traffic down because you're not going to have exiting cars and vehicles from Indian Trail. Now, we're going to have to communicate to parents and everyone about the change, and we'll have an officer out there early on, beginning of the school year, to make sure everyone's aware of it. But as opposed to doing the shave of the curve, which again has some issues with it, as opposed to trying to do an all Kent Road entrance, which has issues with it, we think this is a compromise at least worth looking at, because it's a zero cost, basically. We can still keep our entrance pattern the same, and it's going to cut down, it appears, quite a bit of the traffic, all the traffic exiting the school. So hopefully that'll be helpful to the neighbors.
2 questions to go along with that. The sidewalk in its entirety is remaining intact?
Yes, with the one-way plan, yes.
Okay. The second thing is, I live on Margaret. My children go to that school. Now, typically we walk, so it's not an issue. But there are times when we have to pick them up from school. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to take an extra 10 minutes out of my afternoon to go out Kent Road and around. So I don't know if I want to break the law or what, but that's
I'm sure
kind of
Mr.
silly.
May will call me and let me know there was a car.
From my standpoint, that's kind of silly. So that's why I was asking.
Yeah, and that makes sense. That does make sense.
And I don't know if something can be handed out at the open house. They always do a school open house the week before school that indicates that the traffic patterns are going to change for entering and exiting.
I'm working with Mr. Lacoste on a phone blast, and open house is a great idea. Our PR person, I asked him to communicate with her about how we can get the word out to the Sentry also. So, but I absolutely want to get the word out and make sure everyone's clear.
Soon to put a one-way sign.
One-way signs, posts in the
exiting right-hand side, so to remind people not to drive on there.
I know the cul-de-sac is already a done deal and they've already decided on that, but wouldn't it be an idea to take the property that's going to be the cul-de-sac, keep the street, let them, I know you've already decided, but this is an option. Let them make the street, Thorndale, go on the outside, make a big loop, and you would keep the street, you would keep everybody happy. You wouldn't have to do all the stuff in the school. He hasn't done any building yet anyway. You would save the money that you're going to spend now and just shave off a little corner of that so that everybody could still have a street.
Well, I will share my little line I share with the board on occasion is, I call and I say, I'm sitting in my office minding my own business, and I get a phone call. So, we have nothing really to do with the expansion of the cul-de-sac and all the plans. And when we heard about it originally, we looked at, okay, what's going to happen? How's this going to impact us? And that shaving thing looked like a done deal for us. Because opposite that, not what Bud has suggested, but if we were to expand that parking lot towards Kent Road, that drops off, you've got to fill that in, brace it, base, paving, we're guessing $250,000, $300,000 project. So we were going to be up in arms saying, hey guys, you need to understand this is what's going to happen, but when I met with the city people and we saw that it was a inexpensive potential fix, we looked at it and said, the issue's over, we'll still be able to have access. It's only recently, in the last week or so, listening to the Mays, that we said, yeah, I hear what you're saying, it makes some sense. Let's try this other option. It's a zero cost. It cuts down your traffic. And as far as what happens on Thorndale, that's a city thing. I'm not able to impact that, I don't think.
Can I stay here?
My name is Terry May. I want to thank Mr. Jones for his cooperation, and he was so reasonable with us and willing to listen to us, and I want to thank him for that. Thank you very much. A couple of things I'd like to clarify. There are a lot of people here from our street. Maybe raise your hand that you live on Hawthorne, Margaret, Thorndale. There's concern. There's concern about the traffic up Hawthorne and Thorndale, Margaret. They're going to have to deal with that. They've never had to in the past. So there's just a lot of concern there. What I'd like to clarify, though, is the first option that they talked about, widening the entrance to the gate so it could still be two ways and the buses could come in. What they would have done is taken out the sidewalk. So your kids that would have walked.
I don't think legally would have been an option because that would have put children at risk. So I think that one would have gone by the wayside.
That was what we were told. So
It
this
wouldn't have
keeps the sidewalk. This keeps the traffic all going in one direction. It eliminates some of the traffic coming back into the neighborhood. And Mr. Jones said that we would revisit this in the spring and see how it's working. And that's the major reason I am happy with this, is because he said that he's open to talking about it again in the spring. So, thank you.
Thank you.
And there is a fine line between what we can do and what's been decided by the city already. We're adjusting to their decision. We got to say our piece when they were discussing this, but when they made their decision, you like us, are trying to find what is the best we can do for the schools, how we address this. And I appreciate Russia going out and talking to the Mays and all of you that are here. Like Dr. Jones said, we'll try for a year, and then if there's issues, then we come back and see what else we can do going forward. So I think it's the best we can do for now, and let's see how it goes. Let's try it, see what happens. Okay? Yes?
My name is Charles Evans. I live on 134 in Terry River. I see the back of every morning. I hear what's on that corner. And I was a detective. At the time, we set them up a big window and watch the cars by 91. And how many cars would you think would go up and down 91 in 20 minutes? What about maybe 600 cars? 600 cars. And when they come down, the people, I see every day, people take a chance. That one guy just going to get today, they take a chance, come down, making a right hand turn, or screaming at people. So it's dangerous. If all the buses backs up the cars, we could be wrong. It's not going to bother any man, of course. I am in the car. I can wait till 9, 10, or 11 o'clock. But the people are trying to get out to go to work. If you keep them hung up for 20 or 30 minutes, I don't think they like it too well. But I've seen them back up every day. I set up my garage and watch. So I hope you guys know whatever you think you do.
I do too.
Which way?
No, it's not. It was 600 cars. And they just can't get out. I mean, when they back up, they go up dangerously. So that's all I say.
Well, we understand your concern, and, your problem has also become our problem essentially, so we're just trying to find a good compromise that'll work for both of us, all of us,
I was
in the
thinking
meantime.
Going up 59 and go in and go around school and go back out again. I think that would be the best thing in the world, to go that way anyway. Instead of taking all the buses and all the people up through there and making them wait to get up, those people walking up. Me, I'm on the course, but
Yeah.
so I hope you do the best you can do.
Thanks.
Thank you. I think we have to do a lot of data gathering. Once we've gathered the data, we make a better decision. I think what he's done is the right thing.
Anyone else? Okay, we'll move on. Item number 4 is the minutes, and before I make a motion for the minutes, is there any need to separate either minutes out? Can I do it as a group?
Not this time.
Okay, so I'd like to make a motion, we approve the June 26th regular board meeting minutes and the July 24th special meeting minutes.
Second.
So moved.
All right. I moved it. Yeah.
Wait a minute.
All right, this is coming up to the minutes
I
here.
moved Jerry, second roll call, please.
Mrs. Bedio? Aye. Mr. Bonacci?
Aye.
Mrs. Matthews?
Aye.
Mrs. Powers?
Aye.
Mr. Armstrong?
Aye.
Item number 5, we move to the treasurer's recommendations. Mrs. Bowler.
Thank you. The first item I have is the financial report for June of 2014. I wish to recommend the Board of Education approve the financial report for June 2014 as presented in Exhibit number 1.
Second.
Moved by Mrs. Power, second by Mr. Armstrong. Roll call.
Mr. Bonacci?
Aye.
Mrs. Matthews?
Aye.
Mrs. Powers?
Aye.
Mr. Armstrong?
Aye.
Mrs. Bedio?
Aye.
Second item is the check register for June 2014. I wish to recommend the Board of Education approve the check register for June 2014 as presented in Exhibit number 2.
So moved.
Okay, I'll second it.
Moved by Mr. Armstrong, second by Mrs. Matthews. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Matthews?
Aye.
Mrs. Powers?
Aye.
Mr. Armstrong?
Aye.
Mrs. Bedio?
Aye.
Mr. Bonacci?
Aye. Thank you, Mrs. Walton. Move on to item number 6, Dr. Jones, recommendations, please.
Thanks, Mr. Bonacci. I wish to recommend the Board of Education approve the certified and classified employee recommendations as presented in Exhibit number 3. And also want to mention that in attendance is Mark Fritz, who is our recommendation to the board for Director of Operations. So just wanted to share that Mr. Fritz is here, and thanks for being here.
So moved.
Second. Moved by Mrs. Powers, second by myself. Roll call.
Mrs. Powers?
Aye.
Mr. Armstrong?
Aye.
Mrs. Bedia?
Aye.
Mr. Panacci?
Aye.
Mrs. Matthews?
Aye.
Next, I have several contracts, and I believe unless I hear otherwise, I'd like to take all these contracts together in one motion. I'll briefly go through them individually. First is the contract for services for child guidance and family solutions. That is for Sally Dean, our social worker at the high school. The board receives a summary of her work over the course of the year. And Positive Education Program, which is PEP. We use them as consultants for our some of our behaviorally troubled students in terms of strategies and how to deal with them. Renaissance Learning is the library program we have at Lakeview, in which kids check out books, they take an online quiz, it's graded, and then they progress through the whole process. UDS is for Braille students, and it's difficult to find people certified to deal with visually impaired students, and we have a small number, so to hire someone full-time, we think it's more cost-effective to go through an outside agency. Harbor Services is the LEAP program, and that's where we have placements for students in the program in Kent who have severe behavioral issues. And the Children's Services or Hospital Audiology program, again, similar to the Braille situation, for children with hearing issues and being able to assess them and develop strategies for them as well. And then the Akron Children's Hospital, the nurses' rates go up a little bit each year, so we need to get more approval to pay for those increases. And the Holy Family is for their services, and we are their fiscal agent. Anyway, I do wish to recommend that the board approve those contracts that I just identified, and those are items B as in boy through I as in Indiana on your agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Armstrong, second by Mrs. Powers. Roll call.
Mrs. Bedio?
Aye.
Mr. Panacci?
Aye.
Mrs. Matthews?
Aye.
Mrs. Powers?
Aye.
Mr. Armstrong?
Aye.
Item J, I wish to recommend the Board of Education approve the agreement with Kent State University student affiliation for the 14-15 school year as presented in Exhibit number 12. They have, through their program, athletic trainers that come in and serve internships for our athletic programs under the direction of Mr. Feldman. And they are very helpful and assisting, and I want to make sure the board is okay with that.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Mrs. Powers, second by... Sorry. Roll call.
Mrs. Bedio?
Aye.
Mr. Panacci?
Aye.
Mrs. Matthews?
Aye.
Mrs. Powers?
Aye.
Mr. Armstrong?
Aye.
Item K, I wish to recommend the Board of Education approve payment to teachers who will mentor student teachers from the following universities for the 14-15 school year. And as you know, as the law has changed, the stipends for those teachers are not paid from the university, but through our payroll. And so we're asking for approval to use student teachers from those particular universities that are listed.
So second.
Moved by Mrs. Matthews, second by Mrs. Bedio. Roll call.
Mr. Panacci?
Aye.
Mrs. Matthews?
Aye.
Mrs. Powers?
Aye.
Mr. Mr. Armstrong?
Aye.
Mrs. Betts?
Aye.
Item L, I wish to recommend the Board of Education approve the following school fees for the 2014-15 school year, and there are no changes from last year.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mrs. Powers, seconded by Mr. Armstrong. Roll call.
Mrs. Matthews?
Aye.
Mrs. Powers?
Aye.
Mr. Armstrong?
Aye.
Mrs. Bedio?
Aye.
Mr. Benacci?
Aye.
Item M, I wish to recommend the Board of Education approve the lease agreement with the Stowe Suburban Youth Football Booster Club Incorporated as presented in Exhibit number 13 for their use of our facilities at Lakeview.
So moved.
Second.
Myself, second by Mrs. Matthews. Roll call.
Mrs. Powers?
Aye.
Mr. Armstrong?
Aye.
Mrs. Bedio?
Aye.
Mr. Benacci?
Aye.
Mrs. Matthews?
Aye.
Item N is liability insurance. I wish to recommend the Board of Education approve the revision to the list of insured organizations to be added to our liability insurance of those three groups that are listed.
Okay, in addition to what already is.
Right, in addition to what is already approved.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mrs. Powers, seconded by Mr. Armstrong. Roll call.
Mrs. Bedio?
Aye.
Mr. Benacci?
Aye.
Mrs. Matthews? Mrs. Powers?
Aye.
Mr. Armstrong?
Aye.
We have two change orders for projects currently in place, items O and P, and for Mrs. Balger for any specific detail. My understanding is the change orders are within the contingency that was approved by the board, so we're not going over that. But there were obviously some issues that went a little bit beyond the original price. So may I take these together, or would you like to take them separately?
I'd like a discussion, please.
Okay, please.
I have a question that with this gas line, and I've noticed that they have been working. Is it everything going to be completed for the beginning of the school year?
As far as I understand, we're still on target, but this change order did present a little bit of a delay, but we should be on schedule.
I'm just wondering for the safety of the kids with all the equipment.
That's part of the plan, so as long as they don't run into anything else.
So the whole project will be done now with the gas line, the sidewalk, and all that stuff. Okay.
We did get a little bit of a late start with the bids going out later than, but they are working to schedule it. We should be fine.
Let's go ahead. There's any discussion. Let's go ahead and take them separately. Item O, I wish to recommend the Board of Education approve the change order for Cardinal Asphalt on the paving improvement project presented in Exhibit 14.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mrs. Powers, second by Mr. Armstrong. Roll call, please.
Mr. Benacci?
Aye.
Mrs. Matthews? Aye. Mrs. Powers?
Aye.
Mr. Armstrong?
Aye.
Mrs. Bedio?
Aye.
And item P is a change order for Lauren Building Company. I wish to recommend the Board of Education approve the change orders for Lauren Building Company on the natural gas line, replacement paving improvement foundation, waterproofing, and drainage project. That's a mouthful. That's presented in Exhibit number 15.
So moved.
Second.
By myself, second by Mr. Armstrong. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Matthews? Aye. Mrs. Powers?
Aye.
Mr. Armstrong?
Aye.
Mrs. Bedio?
Aye.
Mr. Benacci?
Aye.
And I'd like to recommend under Q gifts, the Board of Education approve the following gifts. Hit and Run Baseball LLC, $20 to the Stone Monroe Falls High School Speech and Debate Club, and the Stone Monroe Falls Booster Club, $250 to the Stone Monroe Falls High School Speech and Debate Club.
So moved.
Second. Mrs. Powers, second by myself. Roll call.
Mrs. Powers?
Aye.
Mr. Armstrong?
Aye.
Mrs. Bedio?
Aye.
Mr. Benacci?
Aye.
Mrs. Matthews? Aye.
That's all I have, Mr. Manager.
Thanks, Dr. Johnson. Under item 7, old business, this is the second reading for the math textbook adoption. Copy available for review from the Fall Board of Education Office. And under item 8, new business, is there any new business to discuss? Good. Is there a need for a possible executive session? Okay. I have a motion to adjourn.
Second.
So,
Motion by Mrs. Johnson, I like the motion. Okay, Mrs. Betty, motion, and second by Mrs. Flowers.
Too busy to discuss it.
Roll call.
The far side.
Mr. Armstrong.
Aye.
Mrs. Betty, aye. Mr. Menache.
Aye.
Mrs. Mrs. Towers.
Not the little house, but away from